I don't know if you have ever had the experience when you come to the very beginning of this section, starting with Romans 1:18, of somehow entering into a good news, bad news joke. We don't hear so many good news, bad news jokes these days, but a number of years ago they were very popular, and there were even variations on the good news, bad news jokes. There were bad news jokes. Well, when I come to this after having read the verses immediately preceding in which Paul has declared his intention of making known the gospel, which as you well know is good news, and now I read verse 18 about the wrath of God, I think that's exactly what I'm living through. It's a little bit like the man who fell out of a window up on the 90th floor of a building, and as he passed the 40th floor going down, somebody called out to him how he was doing, and he said, "So far I'm doing all right." You sort of feel that after you have read about the gospel. So far I'm doing all right, but now you come to verse 18, and what you find is that the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all the godlessness and wickedness of men. You want to say to yourself, well, where is the good news now? I suppose this is a difficult problem for people today, not only for that reason, but also because when Paul speaks of the wrath of God, he introduces an idea that people in our time hardly take seriously. You can talk about the love of God, and that's all right. They may not actually believe necessarily in God as he is of himself, but at least if there is a God, they don't have any trouble thinking of him as being a God of love. But mention the wrath of God, to talk about punishment or hell or judgment or any of those things, and people think you're out of your mind. You must be kidding, they say. We don't think in those terms of ourselves, and if we don't think of those terms about ourselves, well then certainly God couldn't think along those lines either. And yet this is precisely the point at which the Apostle Paul begins. We need to be reminded, therefore, as we start this first main section of the book of Romans, that wrath is a biblical idea. It's strong in the Old Testament, and although it's treated in a different way in the New Testament as a result of the death of Jesus Christ, it's no less strong in the New Testament.